Alrighty, boys, we finally got this thing on a lift. So here we go. Let's start from the front and end up on the back. So I personally haven't gotten time to check this thing out myself yet, but you know, first time here, so you get a raw video of this. So as far as these ball joints go, looks like Ram still isn't giving us grease zerks. Upper lowers don't have grease zerks. U-joints, oh, good luck, Paul. Yeah, those don't have grease zerks either. As far as pitman arm, looks similar. This is fairly interesting. I like what they did here. So you got pitman arm, a sleeve onto the pitman arm, and then you thread the sleeve onto this. That's pretty cool. That is really cool. I like this. I like the fact that it's flat. Probably put a wrench on here and start wrenching here, holding that in. That's pretty cool. This front bar looks pretty much the same. Nothing a whole lot new. This axle, they said it was a new axle. I'm not an axle specialist, so I can't see all the difference there, but it looks like they did a breather tube. Your actuator right here, your wiring. Probably put a little bit of fabric tape. In about a week, I'll probably have this thing back up and do my first oil change. You know, guys, Cummins did a good job with this engine. I mean, as far as I can tell you right now, I'm very amazed. But they try to preserve the visual aspect being the same, but it is quite the different engine, fellas. Just by the way it runs, the way it pulls, I mean, I really haven't started rolling into it. I only have I think about 550 on the miles. So about a week, maybe this weekend I'll get under here about 1,000 miles, do my first drain. Yeah, that'll be fine. It's nice and neat, nothing rubbing. That's cool. You know, I think I saw a negative. Yeah, right here. I'm not too big of a fan about that negative. Probably throw some grease on it so it doesn't corrode. But as far as the front end goes, yeah, not too surprised. Not too blown away. Maybe throw a little bit of grease on that too, so the negative on the engine ain't going anywhere. I know, guys, I'm overreacting. I want to do probably that cloth tape here as well. It protects it from debris, but at the same time it can breathe. You know, wires rot away if they can't breathe. So that's why I wear that. Thing's nice. Oh, look, looks like my computer. That thing's a computer for my headlights. This intercooler, guys, is quite the intercooler. I mean, that is a big old intercooler, guys. A typical, on the other ones, it would go up to here, but this one looks like it goes pretty much up to the grill. So I don't know if that's 30%. It seems like a little bit more than 30% increase on the intercooler. I know they said 30% on the upfront airflow and 30% on the radiator, you know, having more, 30% more capacity. Now, as far as this transmission goes, easy will tell you got a nice flat oil pan. The Chrysler one's notchy. It's like stepped. And it just pretty much highs, and then it just steps all the way to the back here, lowering it. As far as this, I don't know why they didn't do holes on this side, but only did it on the exterior side of it. I know what they said. They said they want to do weight, but I don't know why they didn't do it on the back side. I think it's a little too much weight reduction for them. Anyways, guys, so my little motor for the steps. There's my air tank. Well, that's cool. Looks like it's like a little quick connect to inflate them. Well, that's good to know. Inflate the air system if I ever had to, or just tap into it and put a T here and maybe hook up a small little hose to pump up air. I think that air compressor is probably going to croak out pretty quick if I do that a few too many times, but we'll see. Let's get back to business here. This after treatment looks fairly interesting, guys. The turbo's all the way over there, so that's pretty much all the way down. A little bit of piping, a sensor there. This is what I was intrigued. This is what I wanted to see the most. That sensor, not that sensor, but the way they got this after treatment hooked up here. I like what they did here on the exterior side. You know, you got the air to take the heat out, but as far as it goes closest to the turbo on the inside, it keeps the heat as much as possible. Follow along, guys. Exterior wise, if this canister would be up there, it'd be heat soaking more or less the engine bay. But being down here, the exterior heat just gets pulled out. But yeah, it's as close as possible they could put it to the turbo so the insides could stay nice and toast. This looks like a catalyst converter. A cat. And then they have another. Well, it looks like a pressure sensor. So before, after. So I'm guessing it's a DPF. And then they have the DF spraying in here. So this is your DF tank. And you have a sensor. NOx sensor, is that what it is? So yeah, a little bit better engineered exhaust. I can't give you a percentage or how much better, just the sole idea of retaining the heat, because really that's what you want. You want optimal heat in here, so you're blowing all this stuff out. As far as the DF goes, I'm fairly impressed how they got this one set up and the way it regens clearly, visibly, and it's not torturing the engine. And keyword here is highway. Yeah, that's pretty much a straight shot all the way from here. Well, I know what you boys are thinking. So that's what it would take. Undo this clamp. A down pipe and a pipe to pretty much clear the cab right here. The cab ends right here, so. And off back you go. Alright, we could read between the lines. They could read between the lines. So that's what that'll do. Now, this cross member, I'm not seeing anything new with it. Yeah, skid plate. This thing, nothing new. DF tank in the same place. Fill vent. Ram, why won't you guys give us some more fuel? Guys, please, man, look at all this empty space. Better yet, get rid of this canister too. Nobody cares about this stuff. Just give us a big old tank that goes from here all the way back. I mean, imagine, you could just keep it, keep it with the rails. And then just go straight here. This tank almost looks bloated in a way. That's weird. That is really weird how low it sits. Why in the world would they do that? Maybe it's just the frame, the way they got the new frame going, that exposes it so much. Ram, thank you. Thank you for painting this, man. From day one, those, yeah, look at that. They're being honest with us. So, you guys painted it, thank you. From day one, like when you buy a brand new truck, it looks nasty. It's all rusted already. Because the moisture, by the time it gets to you as a consumer, it picked up some rust. So yeah, guys, these leaf springs, they are different with the... See, it's like a Hutchinson. They talked about it, and I didn't really understand it. So, more or less, you're riding on your first spring, and then this is your second spring. There's a roller here. Fairly flexible roller, so you're more or less riding on these two springs, and then when you get loaded, well, you're always riding on this spring lightly, but once you get loaded, you really start using this spring. Obviously the airbags are there to help, but so primary, secondary, this is your overload spring the way they got it set up now, and this is your leveling kit. Your air springs are your leveling kit. Keep your truck leveled. So, yeah. A lot of wiring, guys. A lot of wiring. I don't like what they got. These spare wires, man. I keep repeating myself, but that's just... I'll just wrap it up as much as I can. What the heck is this little thing? Huh, that's interesting. Just a little solenoid looking thing, not really a whole lot. Maybe an antenna, like a receiver for your key or something. you know, additional range. Oh, I like what they did here. I think I know what this is. This is probably your plug for your for the dually tailgate. Remember I was showing you guys? I was gonna install a light back here. The dualies have those 3 lights back there. I think that's what that's for. It doesn't make sense why they would have 4 wires, but I wouldn't be too impressed if they just had 4 wires. I don't know what else they could leave a dummy for. Oh, great. Look at all these wires. Nicely exposed. So I gotta do something with these. Gotta do something. We got these all lubed up. All them wiring. Well, I ain't too worried about those up there. It's these down here. Hey, let's take a look at this wiring issue that the 4th gens always had. Yep, it's right here. Shoot. Not a whole lot different. Shoot, that's not good. Sooner or later I'm gonna have to, well, a little bit later I'm gonna have to pull this fender flare off and see how that wiring's sitting in there and see if I see any signs of rubbing. That's what I would want to do. I hope I showed you this wiring. It rubs its way over there and you got a million issues. Nobody can figure what the heck's going on. Dealerships are about to pull dashboards because computers are fried. They're not responding. Well, of course that computer ain't gonna respond if it ain't getting the electricity it needs and the communication. If its source of communication is ripped. See how this is rubbing? Well, that's probably only because it's up like that. If I would put it on its axle, it would clear this. So not too worried about that there. So yeah, boys. As far as the rear end goes, I like they added this little weight here. That's a lot of weight for a rear axle. But this axle is definitely different. I think it's a 14 bolt. Yeah, these bolts, they go through. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bolt cover. I wonder if my my stock one would fit. Now, let's go for a walk. I had several stock ones. Do us all a favor, Paul, and just figure it out, right? I doubt it will, but just in case. I know that question's gonna arise. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of these diff covers still in stock. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You know, guys, we might be in business. Good old Gale Banks. Props to that guy. The manufacturer knows best. Look at that. Just funnels the oil right back to it. It's pretty cool. There's nothing scientific about this, but we're going to try this, okay? We're going to more or less blop it right next to it and see how it would fit, how it all worked out. Let me shut off that air compressor, so hang on tight, boys. That's what we use for an air compressor around here. Big boy. Supply line. Good old 1-incher. There's a reserve tank upstairs. But anyways, hold on a sec, fellas. Hey guys, so let's do a rough see how well this thing will stack up. So by looking at it, shoot, I'm horrible. Hey, can I have you help me, please? So I'm gonna have some help. Can you hold this? Just lightly put it over that. Twist it a little to the left. You're holding it, right?
Yeah.
So, if we could get it to line up. So if we could get these two holes to line up. there. I just hold it. We're doing a little test here. Just hold it right there. You know, the chances are slim. Just leave it like that. Just hold it right there. Guys, the chances are slim. But, as you could tell, we lined it up the best of our ability, so this one's more or less lined up, as you could tell right there. Just hold it like that, would you? Well, I guess we still gotta clear that. It's not spaced right. You see what I'm talking about? Then you got this here. You know, boys, chances are slim, but there are some. I mean, it's not rotated properly either. So, wow, I'm impressed. All right, thanks for your help, man. Yep. So quick. Yeah, it's fairly impressed, you know. You'd be surprised. It might just fit. The issue that I had is that when I was lining it up, I had a distance issue. You know, it was slanted like so. So if I were to pull this cap off and move everything to the side, might fit. In theory, I was just trying to get these three lined up, and that should tell what I needed to tell, but I couldn't. So for whatever reason, the only reason obvious that I could explain it was slanted. But yeah, that's that. So those diff covers, shoot, I don't know, I think they fit from 2010s all the way to 18s for sure. So there you have it, boys. I've done my underneath inspection, and now I'm gonna do one last thing to show you guys the fuel filters. That's something, oil filter, fuel filter, and the way the wiring is wired out here is what I was mostly concerned about. See, this wire is fairly up there. That's pretty much the bed. Not pretty much, that is the bed. So I'm not too worried about that, but stuff like by the wheels where stuff gets chucked around, bounced, that's what I'm concerned about. So where's this filter? Okay, guys. The filter housing is completely different. The old ones, you actually got a whole filter here. For whatever reason, they decided that they'll give you 2 plugs, but you only need 1. Let's see what's inside of that one. That's just a dummy plug, it seems like. Who needs a hookup? So yeah, looks like it's a Mopart logo there. There's the part number for some of you boys curious. Shoot, I can't tell. Oh, this is a little valve. That's the drain. Looks like it's a little valve. Oh, hold on a sec. Oh, yep, it's a valve, all right. And ouch, dang it. This is all the wiring there is to it. So I have not done this clearly. I've owned this truck for not even a week now. The way I see it, you'd come in here, turn this little sucker like I already did, but I tighten it again, drain it, and then come in with a wrench and drop this. This is a much better system than with that whole filter housing thing. Yeah, at some point it's gonna crack, and at some point you're gonna have to buy a new one if you over tighten it. But if you're smart about it, I think you'll be perfectly fine with the setup for quite a few thousand miles. Yeah. Nothing impressed me, nothing discouraged me here. Like I've said in my other videos, this truck over exceeded my expectation. You know, just by looking at pictures and listening to the sales guys. Hey, they actually put holes in here on this thing. It's not just glued on there. Sales guys, you know, they're trying to sell this and that, and I thought it was just sales pitches. But hey, it came out to, they truly redesigned and re-engineered, perfected that Ford Gen to the best of their abilities, because as I said, RPM and everything, I don't want to be too loud about it, but ain't no secret I'm going through quite a bit. I wish I could enjoy this truck more, but dealing with what I'm dealing right now, this truck isn't my first priority. This is the pump. This is the pump. That's awesome. Looks like a hose. Wiring. So they're jamming up this area more and more. For you boys wanting to add stuff, there's a threaded thing. You could probably build a bracket or some sort. If you want to slide a pin in here and just bolt it here and put something else up in here, there's some more empty space. I always thought when I finally got around to my 4th gen, I was gonna build stuff and and use up all this empty space there. Also, guys, something to notate: your prep groove package is here. You know how they have the factory gooseneck and then they have those pucks on 4 corners? It seems like the bracket's here, so all you'd have to do is bolt in that bracket. That's awesome. That's good to know for you guys that are curious. So you make holes in your bed and just put these brackets in here and voila, you're done. So my main reason I didn't get the gooseneck is because I don't like how far out those hooks go. I'm going to be putting a B&W hitch in here. Looks like a plate's going to have to get slid in there and probably bolted down is what I'm guessing. Well, you can bolt it down there. Oh, you can bolt it down here. I bet you that's what they'll do. They'll probably sell me a little plate with the goose ball here. And you bolt them down there, maybe even something in here. And then probably have a rod go in there. Or, shoot, they might even have the rod going through the top because there's space. You can see how I can fit my index finger. It fits in there. It's not a whole lot, but to do measurements, a solid 1/2 inch. Finger's width, so maybe 3/4 of an inch. I'm horrible. I used to do construction, not anymore, so I don't know what measurements all the great. All right, boys. Here's a spring part number for you guys curious. I think that's that. And as always, may the Lord bless you. May you all have a mighty fine day. God bless you. Bye.